Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Was Vastaya Half-Noxian Human and Became Vigilante Boss movie. Before we start, please go support Lunatic Moon 26 for writing that awesome fanfic. The vigilante boss who is helping all the 20% of the population that doesn't have a power called Quirk by giving them a job and a same amount of money after they did the job. The Midoriya family is one of the richest people that is alongside the Yaoyorozu family, but Izuku Midoriya was different from the humans since birth. His family is a Vastaya and a Noxian human, when his mother was being carried away unconscious. He was left in an alleyway while his father was not found anywhere. Izuku or Sett was an outcast child that lived alone in the alleyway not until Inko Midoriya found him and raised him as her own child since Hisashi Midoriya died in a car accident, leaving the money at Inko's bank account to use it carefully while handling the company. Inko gives him a proper name, Izuku Midoriya, before making him a successor to the Midoriya company that gives Izuku an idea to help many people, just like how Inko helped him since she found him in the alleyway until all of the Quirkless people who are working at Midoriya company were killed by the villain while the pro-heroes and police didn't care about the people there since they are all Quirkless. That made Izuku angry towards them. Izuku Midoriya or Sett makes a promise that he will hunt all of the villains who attacked the company of his foster mother, and killed all of his workers as new vigilante until the LOV and the heroes heard news about the new vigilante roaming around the Mistreated. All for One told the LOV to come and recruit Izuku for them while the heroes did the same, but AFO made another plan. If he didn't accept working with him, then he's going to steal Izuku's or Sett's power to use it against the heroes, but what he didn't know is that his power can't be stolen by a useless power they all called Quirk. Izuku became the infamous vigilante, and his name is the half-beast boy vigilante boss, Sett. P.S. Izuku will be half Ionin and a Vastaya Half-Noxian human, and has Sett's abilities in League of Legends. Prologue: The Half-Beast Vigilante. Dean's POV. Before the Quirks have came into the world, there are many humans with the different type of races. Well, some of the humans are pure, and some humans are half-breed, but there's one family that gave birth to a son that have mixed race. After they have gave a birth to their child, the doctor and nurse was surprised to saw the child was born with the mixed genes of his mother and his father. Then the nurse have told the two parents to keep Sett a secret so that they won't be targeted by the government. Both of them were now confused on why hide Sett from all the people, and the nurse and the doctor have to tell them the real reason behind on the slaughter of the other races. All of the different races were being slaughtered one after the another by all the pure human races while the other races went back to their main home. Until one day, the government have found the family and ordered all the pure humans to kill Sett's parents, but his father let his own wife run away with their own child while his father was trying to stop all the pure humans on chasing after his wife and his son, but he was killed immediately. Then they went after the mother and Sett. The mother had left Sett in the alleyway and hide him in the box so that no one can find him. Then before she run out, the pure humans are now blocking her path and went to another direction, but it was blocked as well. The males have fun with Sett's mother not killing her, and leaving Sett in the alleyway carrying his mother's body was now with them to continue their fun. Many years pass. The Quirks were now appears all over the world, and a one particular green-hair woman named Inko Midoriya have found the little child in the box, decides to adopt him as her own child while her husband was killed by someone named All for One, but Sett or Izuku Midoriya didn't know that his real mother was still alive and was still being tortured, or worse, being raped inside the facility by all of the men that was working for the government in the past. Inko have taught Sett, Izuku, all her knowledge on their company because Sett, Izuku, will be the next boss of their company, which makes him so much happy that he promises Inko that he will take care of all the workers in their company. But sadly, Inko Midoriya have died in a car accident, leaving Sett, Izuku, alone in his entire life, and still he continued on his dream to make his own adoptive mother proud. Sett, Izuku, heading back onto his house until he saw the smoke from the building far. What is going on now? The building over there is now on fire, pointing at the building from afar. Sett, Izuku, what building is on fire? Can you tell me then? Please be not my adopted mother's. A building where all the Quirkless people are working at. Sett, Izuku, realize that the building that's on fire is his adopted mother's building and start running towards the building. Pro-heroes and police was trying to get all the civilians away from the incident, while the firefighters are stopping the fire while someone were there watching the company that his adopted mother loved so much got burned, and to top it off they killed the workers there as well. No one survives, all of them are dead because of the certain group of villains called the LOV, led by All For One, and with his new successor, Shigaraki. But what they didn't know is that their enemy is much more dangerous than any heroes they all encountered, including Almight himself. Sett, Izuku, was looking at his adopted mother's workers' bodies on the ground dead while the building was now on fire. Sett, Izuku, why them? They all didn't even do anything wrong, but they still killed them. At the top of a building, 3 people are seen standing there in the building and watching the firefighters trying put out the fire from the building. Still watching at the top of the building while laughing. Now there are no more Quirkless people in this world. So what should we do now next? Let's just continue our work on destroying the Heroes Society, since the Master's first plan is already done. You got it then, Shiggy, showing a crazy smile on her face. Shigaraki, I told you don't call me by that nickname, Toga. Tamura is a slim man with pale skin, tinged yellow teeth, and a great deal of wrinkles around his eyes. His lips are chapped and uneven, a small mole on the right underneath, with visible scars on his right eye and under his lip. He has messy grayish-blue hair of varying lengths, the longest clumps reaching to about his shoulders, left hanging over his face in uneven waves. His eyes and mouth are normally obscured, but when visible, they are usually stretched wide in a rather maniacal manner, their bright red irises very small. We should head back now before someone got to see us and hear crusty face. Toga, Dalby is right, Shiggy. We should go leave now before someone noticed us here. Himiko is a relatively petite, fair-skinned girl who is prone to blushing and is frequently described as to having a rather pretty face. She has slightly inward-tilting bright yellow eyes with thin slits, somewhat resembling those of a cat, and her wide mouth is also rather feline, as both her upper and lower canines are more pointed and longer than the rest of her teeth, giving her a vampire-like appearance. Her hair is a pale, dirty ash-blonde color and is styled into 2 messy buns, with numerous wild strands sticking out at all angles from their centers, and where they're fastened, a straight fringe and 2 chin-length side bangs to frame her face. Shigaraki, no need to tell me twice, and don't call me crusty face. You damn. Dalby, damn what? Burn nuggets? Started to laugh at Shigaraki. Dalby is a fairly tall, pale young man of a slim, somewhat lanky build, described to be in his early 20s. He has white hair with a few red flecks at its crown that spikes upward around his head, hanging low over his eyes, which are thin, turquoise in color, and heavily lidded. Before the reveal of his true identity, his hair was dyed black. Shigaraki, just shut up, Dalby. Kurojiri, get us out of here. Dalby, yeah, you got a crusty face, still laughing at him. Kurojiri have appeared behind them, opening a portal to the tavern where they all stay. Then Shigaraki, Toga and Dalby went inside the portal before it closed, but they didn't notice that Sett, Izuku, have already saw them before leaving. Sett, Izuku, was looking at the building behind him and saw the 3 people in there before they leave. Sett, Izuku, I see now, so they are the famous group called the League of Villains. I'll kill them all, gripping his fist hard, and goes back to his house. With the League of Villains. Shigaraki, Dalby and Toga comes out of the portal with Kurojiri. Then they were greeted by someone who is leaning in the wall. Dalby, how was the mission going on? Leaning at the wall. Dalby, it was pretty easy if you asked me, Spinner. Toga, I kinda enjoyed all of their blood as well. Did you get any information that I asked you about their boss, Tamura? Shigaraki, we really haven't gotten any of the information about him, Master, because all his workers are very loyal to him. Kurojiri, young Master, did you try to look into his office? Cleaning up all the cups. Dalby, well, even his office was heavily guarded by the system. Spinner, is it really hard for you 3 to enter his office? Looking at them. Shuichi is a young man with a reptile-like appearance, with bright green scales for skin and a face shaped like that of a lizard. His hair is relatively long and swept backward and is a desaturated pink-purple, standing out from the rest of his colors. Toga, Spinner, you do know that it was more dangerous because his office was being protected by all the lasers on all the sides. So you can say that if you made one mistake and the alarm will turn on. Shigaraki, that's why we didn't go in, cause the laser can kill us in there even though I can destroy it with my own quirk, but I choose something else and kill all of the quirkless workers in order to use it as our distraction to leave the building. So we really don't know anything about him, then you three sucks. Shigaraki and Dabi, shut the FCK up, twice. Toga, what should we do next? We already killed all of the quirkless workers in that building now. Shigaraki, let's proceed on how to deal with all of the heroes and Heroes Society. In the alleyway, Sett Izuku have started walking in the shadow of alleyway but was already walking back to her home until a villain thug have put his hands onto her mouth and dragged her to the alleyway. Then she starts to struggle her way out. Villain, don't even try to struggle, little girl, cause you can't escape here from me. Please do, don't scared. Villain, this won't take too long, little girl. Someone please. Help me, whispered her voice. Was starting to get scared on what was going to happen to her, and the villain was about to touch her, but he got punched in the face and got knocked back by force. The villain looked at who punched him in the face, then saw Sett Izuku was now standing in front of. Sett Izuku then looked at. Are you alright, miss? I'm okay now, mister, still scared. Sett Izuku, better run now and let me handle this, okay? Thank you, mister. Started to run away before thanking Sett Izuku. Villain, who the hell do you think you are? You know I got interrupted by the noise. Sett Izuku grabbed on the villain's face before slamming him to the wall with force by making a crack on it. Villain got slammed in the wall by Sett. Then Sett slammed him down into the ground, causing some bleeding appear on his head. Sett Izuku, you better tell me where is the hideout of the League of Villains, or I won't hesitate to beat you to death. Villain, I don't know where I is their hideout. Sett Izuku, so be it, about to beat the villain until a pro hero have came up along with policemen. Hey! Stay where you are and don't move. Police officer, put your hands in the air now. Aimed his gun at Sett Izuku and the villain. Policemen aimed all their guns at Sett Izuku and the villain, but Sett Izuku just stands up, not looking at the pro hero and police but only to the villain before turning around. Villain, I don't want to die here yet, trying his best on crawling away from Sett Izuku. Sett Izuku, maybe I'll go started on destroying you all in here before I'm going to the League of Villains. Started running in towards the pro hero and policeman. Police officer, shoot him. Started on shooting his gun at Sett Izuku. Policemen start shooting their guns at Sett Izuku as well, but Sett Izuku had dodged all of the bullets while going at the policeman, then had to rush in towards Sett Izuku in order to protect the policeman from Sett Izuku. And Sett Izuku clashed on both of their hands at each other. Sett Izuku started on attacking with both of his fists but was able to block all of Sett Izuku attacks with both of his hands, and he delivered a heavy punch in his stomach. Sett Izuku got knocked back a bit before looking at. So your quirk is based on super strength, right? You guessed it correct, Sett, but you are stay where you are now. Sett Izuku, so give me your best shot, then goes into his battle stance. Death Arms. Death Arm, you got it. Sett rushed in to attack Sett Izuku again. Death Arms is a very tall, muscular man of a wide build with slightly tanned skin. He has a square jaw which juts out a notable amount, small eyes and short white hair, spiked out behind his head. Sett Izuku started on using his combo attack on him, while Death Arm keeps on blocking it but started to struggle to fight back. Then Sett Izuku delivered a heavy blow into Death Arm's stomach, sending him back. Death Arm get knocked back to the policeman and lose unconscious. Start to release some of his flames at Sett Izuku, but he's taking all of the damage while gathering all the hits he just took and healing until someone had slowly came in from above and goes to rush down towards at Sett Izuku. You're going down. Detroit preparing his fist. Sett Izuku's golden aura had started to appear on his whole body after he's done on taking all of the hits from them, and he positioned himself until came in front of him. Sett Izuku prepared his fist as well. HOI. And Sett Izuku smash. Maker. Then both of their fists have collided with each other. Because of their fists collided with each other, it begins to release a very strong shockwave that even the top pro hero struggled to stay in the position until was getting pushed back by shockwave. This shockwave is too strong. Police officer, we really need to stop him right now. Do you even have a plan in mind? Maybe you have already made a plan now, Endeavor? Endeavor, I have a plan, and that is to take him down. Flies in towards Sett Izuku. Enji is a tall, sturdily built man with a very muscular physique. He has short crimson hair which he wears spiked up around his head and sharp turquoise eyes. His beard and mustache appear to be made of fire, but when he voluntarily turns off the flames on his face, a small amount stubble shows around his jaw. Police chief, pull back now because we can't handle this guy, but ready all your guns to shoot him down. Aims his gun at the smoke. Policeman, yes sir. Aims their guns at the smoke. Got knocked back on the police by the strong shockwave that was coming in from Sett. Izuku, as Haymaker and Endeavor saw, is coming towards him and got knocked back by force as well. Policeman, Almight. Saw Almight got sent flying backwards only by the shockwave along with Endeavor. Police chief, ready. Fire. Then started on shooting in the smoke. The policeman followed the order and started shooting on the smoke as well, while Endeavor takes All Might's body into the side. Endeavor, damn you villain scum! Sent a flaming spear at the smoke. Changed the Nomu into a wall. Police chief, did that hit it? Put down his gun and just slowly waiting for the smoke to disappear. Sett Izuku was already gone from the smoke, and policemen have to put their guns down when they saw Sett Izuku was not in there anymore. Endeavor, panting, this villain is so stubborn to surrender. Sighs, I think it's not the villain we're dealing with here, but a vigilante that's very similar to Stain, and I think I know his real name as well. Endeavor. Endeavor, then who is he? Tsukauchi. Tsukauchi, Endeavor, he's the adopted son of Inko Midoriya and his name is Izuku Midoriya. Endeavor, Izuku Midoriya? Isn't that kid the new boss of the... Tsukauchi, that's right, Endeavor. He's the new boss of the Midoriya company. Well, I've also heard rumors that someone was in charge of this illegal underground fighting pit. Tsukauchi, we'll be letting someone to handle the case to investigate about the underground fighting pit. Prologue 2, Chaldea and fighting the high-end Nomu. Dean's POV. Endeavor, Izuku Midoriya? Isn't that kid the new boss of the... Tsukauchi, that's right, Endeavor. He's the new boss of the Midoriya company. Endeavor was surprised to hear the name of a person they all saw just now as the new boss of Midoriya company, but he still doesn't care about it, and he still wanted to go on arrest Sett Izuku for doing a vigilante work. Well, I've also heard rumors that someone was in charge of this illegal underground fighting pit. Tsukauchi, we'll be letting someone to handle the case to investigate on about the underground fighting pit. How about him? What will we do to him? We can't just leave him alone here. Tsukauchi, Eraserhead, we can catch him next time, but not now since Death Arms and All Might are down. Endeavor, I can go now and take that villain down with no problem at all. Tsukauchi, sighs, even if you're now stronger than him, Endeavor. We still don't know about his quirk. Pro heroes, his quirk? Confused. Everyone was now trying to guess on what type of quirk does Sett Izuku had, since he really haven't used his own power for once in his entire whole life except for only today's incident, until Eraserhead had to speak up for all of them. Eraserhead, that was what I wanted to figure out, cause I'm surprised that my quirk didn't work on him earlier. Tsukauchi, well, that was a surprising word coming from you. I thought your quirk won't work only to the mutant-type quirks. Eraserhead, that's what I have always been thinking all about just now. Then searching and fighting him will be very interesting. Smirks. Female heroine with bunny features talked while she bumped both of her fists against each other very excitedly, looking for the good fight against Sett Izuku, and Eraserhead just looked at her with a weird look. Eraserhead, are you always looking for a good fight? Looking at her. You said it yourself now earlier that your quirk isn't working at him. Eraserhead, what does my statement have to do with you fighting him? I want to go test it another time. If it's true that your quirk isn't going to work at him, then we'll have a bigger problem. So what should we do in the meantime? man with the wings on his back have finally asked on what will they do in the meantime now because everyone are so confused until Sir Tsukachi told his men to return back to their work, and he also told all of the remaining 4 pro heroes have to go home, or they all should really do something for themselves. The 4 pro heroes just nodded all their heads before going to leave the place where they are in right now, but only the number 2 flame hero Endeavor, being the stubborn power and fame-hungry idiot he is, just went to go look for Sett, Izuku, to fight him alone and arrest him. Time skip of the world. Sett, Izuku, was now as already the famous for his vigilante work since he's always helped the people and he's hiding all of his tracks that not even the search Quirk can find him. Sett, Izuku, had already taken out many villains and many yakuzas during on his vigilante work. Then Sett, Izuku, started to make a plan for his finale attack against all the LOV and All for One, AFO, for burning down the only company that was given to him by his adopted mother and caretaker, Inko Midoriya. The polices have also already found out the hideout of LOV and All for One. Then Tsukachi gathers all of the pros to this operation raid at the unknown tavern in the Kamino ward, while Sett, Izuku, was now already heading in towards the tavern until Sett, Izuku, walking towards the bar in the road and stop. Police officers and pro heroes, waiting outside the bar. Sett, Izuku, Is their operation about to begin? Endeavor, looking at each side of the road. Sett, Izuku, looked at Endeavor from afar. Endeavor saw Sett, Izuku, running. You damn villain. Sett, Izuku, looks like I'm going to run to get past through them all, rushed in towards them. Tsukachi saw Endeavor get ready to attack Sett, Izuku. Endeavor, don't. Endeavor, die you damn villain. Used his flame quirk at Sett, Izuku. Sett, Izuku, have jumped in the air to dodge the flames from Endeavor, and Tsukachi already told him that don't attack Sett, Izuku. But he still did not listen to him. Then he attacks him with his Hell Flame quirk. Endeavor was now preparing himself to attack Sett, Izuku, who was ready to jump in the air. Sett, Izuku, you better stay out of my way. Endeavor, you will not gonna escape from me this time. Sett, Izuku, try and stop me, you fake. Jumps in the air. Endeavor makes a flame spear and throws it towards Sett, Izuku, while he's still in the air. Sett, Izuku just took the hit but still keep moving on towards the bar, not minding his scratch from the flame spear of Endeavor, cause he was now healing slowly until he appeared on beside Endeavor after landing on the ground. Sett, Izuku, you're not my target, so stay away. Continues to run towards the bar. Endeavor, huh? What does he mean by that? About to attack. Tsukachi, Endeavor! Shouts. Endeavor, what? You do know that I'm busy in here, right? Tsukachi, that is not your mission right now because we have operation to do. Endeavor, TSK. Fine, went back. Sett, Izuku, looking back, he really wants to take me down, huh? But he's not strong enough to defeat and capture me, continues on running. Sett, Izuku, have finally arrived in the unknown tavern. Then he saw the pro hero Kamui Woods have captured all of LOV members until some black goo had came out of nowhere. Then Nomas have started to appear in the black goo like a portal. Kamui Woods, Noma. Surprised. Sett, Izuku, goes into fighting stance when Nomas have starting to appear inside the tavern where they are now. Kamui Woods, how did they make it here? What is this? Sett, Izuku, looking at the creatures in front of him. So this is what they call a Noma, huh? Gran Torino, they keep on coming. The same black goo have starting to appear on a teenager's mouth, and he got teleported in a facility where the boss right now, but All Might got missed to get the teen out of the black goo. All Might, no! Screamed. Sett, Izuku start to attack the other Nomas in the bar, while the pro heroes was surprised to see the backup have arrived very fast. Kamui Woods. Endeavor! Help us! Kamui would start looking back, then got even more surprised. More Nomas have starting to appear outside the bar while the policemen are trying to shoot them all down along with the number 2 hero Endeavor. Gran Torino lands beside All Might. Tashinori, what now? All Might, they shouldn't able to warp Noma here, and this backup came too fast. I feel it. He made a move. Sett, Izuku, looking at the one that Kamui have captured. Shigaraki! Shigaraki, listening into his master's voice. Sett, Izuku, was about to run in towards Shigaraki, but he helps the police and endeavor to take out some nomas in their positions. Don't worry. I am here for you, offers his hand to a child. Shigaraki. Master. Covered by the same warping quirk. Sett, Izuku, was about to run towards Shigaraki, but he prioritized on helping the polices and endeavor on taking out all the nomas in their positions, but before that he looked in front of him on what's going on. Toga spit some of black goo from her mouth. Sett, Izuku, what the hell is going here? I should better help the police and endeavor first, then jumped from the window. Kamui Woods noticed it as well, like Sett, Izuku. All of the LOV members was now being covered in their mouth by the same warp gate, and that makes Kamui Woods surprised. Gran Torino then use his quirk stop them, before they all disappear. Almight, damn it! Started to run in towards Tamura. You won't escape, Shigaraki. Take me with you. Missed it again, him? All of them was teleported on where their boss right now, but Kamui Woods was now scared on what he was thinking. Right. Kamui Woods. No. No! I'm so sorry! Edgeshot. No, this wasn't your fault. Edgeshot used his quirk to dodge the attack from the Nomu behind, and he kills it by attacking its own neck after he transformed into a thread, then formed himself again. Edgeshot. None of us was able to do anything. Kurojire's quirk opens up warp gates that allows anyone to pass through, but this one is targeting a specific people. Nomus started on attacking them. Gran Torino. Almight! Shouts. Almight, Oklahoma. Smash! He start to spin around. Sett, Izuku, have already taken out some nomas, and he started to run towards a facility which is 5 kilometers from where he is now. Meanwhile, Endeavor is now nearly exhausted after taking down some of the nomas, and he looked up at the destroyed window, then saw All Might coughing after he called his hero name. All Might. Are you keeping up? After coughing. Endeavor, looking at All Might. Does it look like I'm having any trouble? Worry about your own responsibilities, you fool. Endeavor didn't look behind, and he started to attack the 2 flying nomas with his flame quirk, while he's still talking to All Might. Endeavor, looking at the nomas. If you want to go after them, now is the time. All Might. Right. I'll leave you to it. Then become serious and looked at the distance. In the facility. In the destroyed facility, the 3 pro heroes are now unconscious while carrying a fellow pro heroine, but only one of the heroes who remained conscious, and a clapping sounds was heard in front of the pro hero named Best Jeanist. The one who is clapping his hands is the leader of LOV name All for One. Best Jeanist, shaking in fear while on the ground. All for One AFO, clapping both of his hands. I see why you are the number 4 hero, Best Jeanist. That blast should have annihilated you all. The scene changed when All for One was preparing the blast, but Best Jeanist had managed to get the other heroes out of way until the explosion was heard. All for One AFO explained on what Best Jeanist just did, but you managed to manipulate everyone's clothing and pull them out of the way just in time. Quick thinking, consider the praised. Best Jeanist, still shaking in fear while on ground. It's him. Best Jeanist starts to remember some words before they begin the operation, which makes him got even more scared when he saw All for One right in front of him. Best Jeanist. It wasn't supposed to go like this. Best Jeanist used his quirk to support himself against All for One AFO, while he's looking at him standing in the air. Best Jeanist. But that doesn't matter. A true hero doesn't believe in excuses. Best Jeanist attacked All for One AFO, using his quirk with all the strength he had left, but he got shot in the stomach, making fall down unconscious. All for One AFO. Now I see. Your strength comes from the practice and practical experience, not raw power. I don't need your quirk, it wouldn't pair well with Tamura's disposition. All for One's face was entirely made up of scar tissue, extending from above his upper lip and covering his entire head and the back of his neck. As such, he had no visible nose, ears, hair or eyes, though the outlines of his eye sockets were visible. He donned a navy blue, skull-like gas mask with angular tubes at the top, a wide collar-like life support system around his neck with additional pipes connecting in the front and back, presumably to help him breathe. Sett, Izuku, have arrived on the area and he take a look around him, but he only to see a destruction in one place that makes him very shocked and mad. Then looked at All for One, AFO, who is now standing in the air with a quirk that he steal from someone. Sett Izuku. All for One! You're going to die here today! All for One, AFO. If it isn't the new boss of the Midoriya company. Sett Izuku. You and your league will pay for what you did to my workers. All for One, AFO. But you have to go through my Noma first before going to fight me. Out of nowhere, the Noma had appeared and it started to rush in towards Sett Izuku by the order of his master, while Sett Izuku takes on his battle stance to prepare his fight against the Noma that is in front of him right now, but he didn't know that All for One, AFO, have plans for him. The Noma and Sett Izuku collided their fists against each other, causing some shockwaves and strong wind pressure in the area. Sett Izuku, he can take the hit with his own fist? What is this thing? All for One, AFO. Well, if you're now wondering what is that thing, then the name of the creature you're fighting on is called the Noma. Sett Izuku. The Nomu? Like the ones on the tavern? All for One, AFO. Yes, but this one was specifically created to fight you at full power. Sett Izuku tries to deliver a heavy blow onto the Noma's head, but the Noma just countered the attack with its own fist just to block the attack, which makes him surprised as well. All for One, AFO. I forgot to tell you that he can also think like a human. Sett Izuku. So that's the reason why he can counter my attacks head on. All for One, AFO, and now, time for my main plan. All for One, AFO, saw All Might have come to take him down once again in front of Tamura and the League, but in the midst of battle some student have managed to rescue the teen away from the battlefield while the League is tried to capture him again, only to be blocked by the pro-heroine called Auntie Lady, and told the teens that they better leave the area while they can, which they agreed on her along with the other teens that was hiding. All for One, AFO, used his quirk to forcefully open Kurogiri's warp gate behind the League, which makes them surprised, especially Tamura. Then All for One, AFO, had told him that he should continue to grow and surpass him so that they can see him as the symbol of fear. Tamura was scared that his master will be captured by the pro-hero in front of him, but All for One, AFO, have used his quirk to forcefully get the League out using Magna's magnetism, but along with them is Sett Izuku, who just got thrown to the warp gate by the Noma, and it followed him inside of it until the warp gate have closed, leaving All for One, AFO, and All Might fights alone. Somewhere in different universe, there is one organization that is trying to save all the humanity by traveling to the past and stop something to get what is causing the chaos, which called Grail. There are only one human left inside the organization who are the now last hope of humanity, but the organization called the Chaldea have some kind of a source that can detect any danger in the other timelines, have which they all like to call it the Singularity. This one human that is inside of the Chaldea right now is called the Master, who have a heroic spirits that can help them fight alongside with her during in their first Singularity until the Lost Belt. The girl is heading to the room where they can summon a heroic spirit called Summoning Altar along with everyone's favorite Kohai, Mash Kirilight. Mash is a young woman with short lilac hair, lavender eyes and fair skin. Her figure is fairly athletic, and her breasts have elicited comments, some of which are rather crude, from several other servants about her physique and have also garnered her the nickname, Mashmallow. As a byproduct of her demi-servant augmentation preserving her body at its peak physical condition, she will continue to appear as if she is a young woman regardless of her chronological age. They also managed to summon all of the heroic spirits in a different timelines, but one of heroic spirits was only summoned by the Chaldea and the rest are summoned by the last master of Chaldea. The boss info. Name, Izuku Midoriya. Vigilante name, Sett. Title, The Half-Beast, The Boss, Beast Boy Bastard and Beast Man Bastard. Looks. Weapon, the brass knuckles. Personality. Honest, nice, kind, caring, polite to his workers, adopted mother and the quirkless people, ruthless, merciless, cold, very brutal and very deadly, to the LOVE, AFO, police and pro-heroes. Likes. His adopted mother, helping quirkless people, his workers, Midoriya Company and Fighting Pit. Dislikes. Quirks, AFO, heroes, LOVE, police, someone destroying his adopted mother's own company, someone killing all of his workers and bullying Quirkless people. His skills? Pig Grit. Sett's basic attacks alternate between left and right punch. Right punch is slightly stronger and faster. Sett also hates losing, gaining additional health regeneration based off of his missing heal. Knuckle Down. Sett's next two attacks deal additional damage based off of the target's max health. Sett also gains movement speed while moving towards enemy champion. Haymaker. Sett passively stores damage he takes as grit. On cast, Sett expends all stored grit to gain a shield and punch an area, dealing true damage in the center and physical damage on the sides. Facebreaker. Sett pulls in all enemies on opposite sides of him, dealing damage and stunning them. If enemies were only on one side, they are slowed instead of stunned. The Showstopper. Sett carries an enemy champion through the air and slams them into the ground, dealing damage and slowing all enemies near where they land. Background info. Izuku Midoriya, or also known as Sett, is a half-Ionian Vastaya and Half-Noxian human that was left in alleyway by his real mother that were killed until Inko Midoriya found him and raised him as her own child. Izuku Sett was happy to have a nice adopted mother not until Inko died in a car accident that involves with the villains, and next thing happened to him is workers all killed in the facility. That is the last string to make himself happy had finally cut when he saw all of his workers' body was laying on the ground full of blood while pro-heroes and the policemen didn't care about them only for themselves. Izuku Sett have made a promise to all of his dead workers and his own adopted mother that he will going to become a vigilante and take revenge for their death. Chapter 1: Summoning Malfunction. This one human that is inside of the Chaldea right now is called the Master, who have a heroic spirits that can help them fight alongside with her during in their first singularity until the lost belt. The girl is heading to the room where they can summon a heroic spirit called Summoning Altar along with everyone's favorite kohai, Mash Kirilight. Mash is a young woman with short lilac hair, lavender eyes and fair skin. Her figure is fairly athletic, and her breasts have elicited comments, some of which are rather crude, from several other servants about her physique and have also garnered her the nickname Mashmallow. As a byproduct of her demi-servant augmentation preserving her body at its peak physical condition, she will continue to appear as if she is a young woman regardless of her chronological age. She also managed to summon all of the heroic spirits in different timelines, but one of the heroic servants that was only summoned by the Chaldea and the rest was summoned by the last master of Chaldea. Right now, the last master is walking towards the summoning altar with Mash behind is named Gidako. Gidako has shoulder-length red hair tied in a side ponytail on the left side with a usually yellow hair band and a cowlick, and light orange eyes. She's the crazy one when it comes to the gacha, which makes all the servants afraid of going near her. Gidako was now seen walking towards the summoning altar with items that will be used to summon the servants such as the Mapo Tofu, black keys and etc. while screaming the word gacha. Mash. Senpai, can you please stop on saying that every time we are going to summon a servant? Gidako. HM? And why is that, Mash? Look back at Mash. Mash. You're scaring every servants in here every time you said that. Gidako. Huh? I'm scaring everyone here? Mash. Yes, senpai. Can you please stop saying it? After walking, they arrived at the room and Gidako went inside along with Mash, then placed the Saint Quartz down on the summoning circle. Mash. Senpai, can I ask you a question? Gidako. HM? What is it, Mash? Mash. What kind of heroic servant do you want to summon this time? Gidako. Well, I can go with either a Berserker class or an Archer class. Mash. But I thought you already have a Berserker class and an Archer class. Gidako. Well, it won't be hurt to wish for another one. The summoning system begins to work while Gidako and Mash was watching it, but to their surprise, no cards show up. Mash was confused for a minute until a portal appeared out of nowhere right in front of them. Mash summoned her shield to Gidako while her clothes have changed into her heroic costume. Suddenly, Sett Izuku was tossed out from the portal and he got slammed on the wall while the Noma was walking out of the same portal, then it begun to close. Mash rushed in towards the Noma and tries to attack it, but the Noma saw her move towards it, then she tries to attack it with her shield. The Noma had dodged it and grabs Mash's arm before slamming her on the ground, then throws her back with force. Gadako. Mash! Run towards Mash. Are you okay? Mash. I am okay, senpai. Struggling to get up. Gadako. Don't move, I'll try to contact Da Vinci and the others to help us here. The Noma looked back at Sett, Izuku, who is now mad after what the Noma did to the girl, and he starts to get up with the golden aura surrounding his entire body. Sett, Izuku, rushed in towards the Noma, prepared to use the same move he used to destroy and take down his enemy. Sett, Izuku. Time to destroy you here now. Gadako. Mash, get ready your shield. Mash. Got it, senpai. Then prepares her shield. The Noma rushed in towards Sett, Izuku, and tries to land a hit, but he managed to dodge it, then used his move on the Noma. Sett, Izuku. Haymaker! He destroys the wall and sent the high-end Noma flying out of the room by the wind pressure, then Sett, Izuku, began to rush towards it while Mash managed to protect Gadako from the wind pressure. Gadako. What the? Shocked. Mash. What kind of a heroic servant is he? To gather enough energy on his own body, and he released it towards the enemy. Panting. Gadako. I don't know, but I will only guess that he belongs to the Berserker class. Mash. Yeah, with that much strength, senpai. I don't think any classes can be fitted to him except the Berserker class. Gadako. Come on now, let's go tell the others about this, Mash. Mash. Right behind you, senpai. Gadako. Mash, I want you to look for Da Vinci while I'll go look for the others. Mash. Huh? Why is that, senpai? Gadako. So that she can fix this room. Mash. Sure thing, senpai, but how will you that enemy without me? Gadako. Don't worry about me, Mash. Mash. If you say so, senpai. Mash and Gadako gets up and run to look for the servants while Mash went to look for Da Vinci. In the battle, the high-end Noma and Sett, Izuku, have rushed in towards each other and both delivers a right punch against each other. Both of their fists collides and it caused some huge damage on the hallway of the Chaldea, which alerted all of the heroic servants and the last master. Sett, Izuku, grabbed the Noma's right arm and he slammed it on the ground while preparing to kill it, but the Noma managed to land a hit on Sett, Izuku, on the face, sending him flying upwards. The Noma began to grow a pair of wings on its back and flies towards Sett, Izuku, ready to attack him again. Sett, Izuku saw the high-end Noma was flying towards him, and he then starts to head down towards the high-end Noma as well. Sett, Izuku, was gathering some energy again from each hit he received from the high-end Noma while still regenerating a little. Sett, Izuku, delivered a heavy blow on the Noma's face, sending it down on the ground with an impact that destroys the ceiling of Chaldea. With the heroic spirits. Some heroic spirits was seen in the cafeteria, and some of them are doing their own thing. Suddenly, the Chaldea began to shake, which alerted all of the heroic spirits in the Chaldea until one of them speaks. What was that sudden shake just now? Do you know what it was, Master? Looked at? I don't know, but something tells me that there will be a problem with Master summoning a heroic spirit. Right on cue, Gadako have arrived on the cafeteria with all of the heroic spirits are looking at her in the doorway. Master, what's wrong? Worried about her master. Gadako. Can you some of you help me with the problem? What kind of problem is that? Gadako. A huge problem. Then Da Vinci came running in towards the cafeteria with Mash running right behind her. Da Vinci. Okay, Fujimaru, tell me what happened to the summoning altar in the room. Gadako. Well, I was trying to summon another heroic spirit until it starts to get malfunction itself, and out of nowhere a portal appears right in front of us. A portal? What kind of portal is it, Master? Curious about the portal. Gadako. It was a purple portal that just appeared right in front of us. Da Vinci. Can you please continue on what you're talking earlier, Fujimaru? Gadako. Right. Then suddenly a man was thrown out from the portal while a monster walks out from the same portal before it closes up. Da Vinci. That explains why Mash asked me if I can fix the room. Gadako, nervously laughing. Yeah. I guess that's the reason. Master, what kind of heroic spirits are you trying to summon this time? Gadako. I was thinking about either a Berserker-class servant or an Archer-class servant. Wait, you're thinking for another Berserker-class servant? Surprised. Gadako. Yeah. I was thinking about it. Smiles while nervously laughing. What kind of heroic spirit is it that you saw there, Master? Gadako. I don't even know what kind of heroic spirit is it. But he was strong. Some heroic spirits, who was expert in the technology, volunteered to help Da Vinci in order to fix the room, while 3 heroic spirits volunteered to go with Gadako, then went to where the sound came from. Back in the battle, Sett, Izuku, starts to overpower the high-end Nomu, and he begins to use Knuckle Down onto the high-end Nomu, making it flying to a vacant room of Chaldea. Sett, Izuku went after where the high-end Nomu is sent flying backwards with wind force and shockwave from Sett's Knuckle Down. The Nomu was waiting for Sett, Izuku, to appear and ready its fist in order for it to strike Sett down. When Sett, Izuku appears, the Nomu quickly tried to deliver a punch to Sett, Izuku, but he managed to dodge it and counters the punch of his own, sending the Nomu to the wall. Sett, Izuku was about to rush towards the Nomu until a female voice was heard from a destroyed wall of training room. What the buck is going on here? Sett, Izuku looked at the destroyed wall and saw a girl standing on his side, while surprised to see how much damage Sett, Izuku have caused. Sett, Izuku. Miss, I suggest you stay back from here. What do you mean by stay back? Looked at Sett, Izuku while walking towards him. Sett, Izuku. Because I don't want to let you know. Just tell me already now, damn it! Sett, Izuku. You can't kill the high-end Nomu cause it has a regeneration quirk on its body. Bucking bastard. Are you trying to mock me? Starting to get pissed. Sett, Izuku. I'm not mocking you, but I was trying to W dash. Sett, Izuku was about to finish his words until he got interrupted by the Nomu, who was behind the girl and ready to strike her with its fist. Sett, Izuku immediately rushed towards the high-end Nomu, then he used his last move called the Showstopper, slamming the high-end Nomu on the ground. Sett, Izuku used his last move on the Nomu. He walked back for a little bit and prepared himself if it wasn't enough to take down the high-end Nomu that is equal to him. But to Sett's surprise, the Nomu is barely alive from the damages it took until Sett, Izuku grabbed the Nomu's head and slammed it on the wall by force while destroying the center part of wall. The girl was shocked and surprised to see how strong Sett, Izuku really is, and she was wondering what type of class is he. Sett, Izuku killed the high-end Nomu by slamming its head on the wall using the golden aura on his entire body and put it on his right hand, destroying the Nomu's exposed brain. Sett, Izuku. You better stay dead. What the hell? Speechless for a moment. Sett, Izuku, how can I go back and kill all for one? Maybe she knows the way back to Mistreated. Hey miss, can I dash? Sett, Izuku looked back, then he saw that she's holding a sword this time and takes on a battle stance along with the heroic spirits that came. Gadako was behind the 3 heroic spirits, and when she looked in front of her, then immediately recognized who is in front of them along with Mash. Mash. Wait, senpai, isn't he the one who got sent flying to the wall in the room? Gadako. You're right, Mash, but how did he? Sett, Izuku. I guess you didn't notice that I managed to get out of the wall. Who are you? And what class are you? Sett, Izuku. Huh? What class are you saying? Confused at the question. What kind of a heroic spirit are you? Sett, Izuku. Miss, I don't even know what you're talking about. Confused. How about you introduce yourself to us and we will do that to you as well? Sett, Izuku. Well, I'm Izuku Midoriya. Gadako. My name is Ritsuka Fujimaru, but you can call me Fujimaru or Gadako if you want. Sett, Izuku. Then I'll call you Gadako. Gadako. And what should I call you? Sett, Izuku. Call me Sett since it was never mind that. Just call me Sett. Gadako, what class is he? I'd better ask Da Vinci later after they fix the room, and also he was about to say something but stopped saying it. Mash. Our turn now. My name's Mistreated, a demi-servant of Chaldea. Artoria. I'm Artoria Pendragon, a saber-class servant and the King of Knights. Sett. Izuku. Wait. What? King Arthur is a woman? Got surprised but didn't show it. Mordred. Hey big guy. I'm Mordred Pendragon, a saber-class servant as well and a Knight of the Round Table. Sett. Izuku. A member of a Knights of the Round Table. See. I'm Chulin, a Lancer-class servant and Ireland's Child of Light. Nice to meet you, kid. Sett. Izuku. It's nice to meet you as well, sir. Jean. And lastly, my name is Jean d'Arc, a ruler-class servant and Saint of Orleans. Sett. Izuku. So all four of you are the servants in here? Artoria. Saber. We are called heroic spirits but summoned as a servant to fight and help Master in order to save the humanity from extinction. Sett. Izuku. Extinction? What do you mean by that? Gadako. Our mission is to get a holy relic called Holy Grail and fix the singularity caused by the Holy Grail. Sett. Izuku. So who's your enemy then, Gadako? Looked at Gadako. Before Gadako can speak up, Lancer had interrupted her and he answered the question. Lancer. I think Master had already finished the Grand Order mission. Sett. Izuku. The Grand Order? MASH. It's a name of the main mission that Director Olga Marie have planned in the beginning. Chapter 2. The Boss Meets the Past Heroes PT1. Izuku. Sett. Can you tell me about this Grand Order? MASH. Should we just tell him about that, senpai? MASH and the three heroic servants was looking at their master, and Gadako nodded her head. Gadako. Go ahead, MASH, tell him about it since he doesn't know everything here. MASH. Got it, senpai. MASH looked back at Izuku, Sett, and explained what is the Grand Order all about. MASH. Do you get it now? Izuku. Sett. Yeah, thanks for explaining it to me, MASH. MASH. It's no problem, Sett. Artoria. Saber. Now let's go back to my questions since you didn't answer them. Izuku. Sett. I don't even know what that means. Mordred. Huh? You don't know what kind of heroic class servant are you? Izuku. Sett. Yeah, I don't know. Can you all tell me about it? Mordred. It's simple, really. Cool, Lancer. All the heroic spirit will be summoned by the Master according to their class. Artoria. Saber. Like the four of us right now. Me and Mordred are summoned as the Saber class servants. Jean d'Arc. Ruler. Me and Ku here are summoned as the Ruler and Lancer class servants. Izuku. Sett. So how about MASH? How did she become a demi-servant? Izuku was pointing his at MASH, asking why she was a demi-servant, and not like them. Then Gadako decides to answer his question. Gadako. It's because she made a contract with the heroic spirit in order to become a demi-servant. Izuku. Sett. What's the name of a heroic spirit that she made contact with? MASH. The heroic spirit's true name is Galahad, part of the Knights of the Round Table and the son of Sir Lancelot. Izuku. Sett. Sir Lancelot? Who's he? Artoria. Saber. Lancelot is one of the knights that serves under the other me. Izuku. Sett. Huh? What do you mean by other me? Gadako. All of the heroic spirits can be summoned in a different class. Izuku. Sett. Gadako, can you tell me all about the servant class names? Gadako. These servant class names are the Berserker, Caster, Lancer, Assassin, Archer, Rider, Saber, Foreigner, Ruler, and Alter Ego. They also have Grand Servants as well. Izuku. Sett finally gets it until he asked her about the true name that MASH just said earlier. Izuku. Sett. What does MASH mean by true name? Artoria. Saber. Once you know our true names, then you will also know the name of our noble phantasms. Izuku. Sett. Wait, so that means your noble phantasm is? Artoria. Saber. That's right, the name of my noble phantasm is Excalibur. Izuku. Sett finally knows what are the servant class names but still confused on why King Arthur is a woman. While he's still thinking about it, Gadako speaks up to him. Gadako. Sett, do you want to meet the rest of the heroic spirits here? Izuku. Sett immediately stopped thinking about it, and he looked at Gadako with a confused look. Izuku. Sett. Did you summon them all here? MASH. Senpai already summoned all of them here but still wanted more. Cool answer. So kid, do you have noble phantasm? Mordred. Of course he have. He recently used it against his enemy just now. Kidako and Mash was surprised to hear it from Mordred except Izuku, Sett, who already know what kind of monster he just fought. Kidako. Mordred, do you mean he fights the same monster that came out from the same portal with him earlier? Artoria Saber. What do you mean by that, master? Jean Dark Ruler. Did he really fight a monster? Izuku Sett. The monster that I fought is called Hai and Nomu. They are the bioengineered weapons, but the one I killed is designed to fight me at my full power. Cool answer. And why is that, kid? Izuku Sett. It's because of my power that made me dangerous to the villains, especially All for One. Mash. All for One? Who's that? Izuku Sett. All for One is a villain that I want to kill since he's the one behind the incident. Kidako. What kind of incident is it? Izuku Sett is silent and didn't want to answer Kidako, which makes her stop on asking about it. Then she decided to take Izuku Sett with her and the heroic spirits to meet the others on the cafeteria. In the cafeteria, Kidako and the others have arrived at the cafeteria, and once they enters the room, what greets them all are in total chaos. Some heroic spirits have minding their own business while the others are either busy on talking with each other, arguing, eating, until one of them noticed Kidako's presence. Master! You're back! The rest of the heroic spirits looked at the door, and they all saw Kidako along with the 6 people. Master, who's the one standing behind you? Kidako. Oh, you mean Sett? Kidako looked behind and saw that Izuku Sett is standing behind her, then asked him a question. Mash and Mordred also noticed that he is standing behind Kidako, and wanted to know the reason why he's standing right behind her. Kidako. Wait, Sett, why are you standing behind me? Mordred and Mash. So why is he standing behind Master? Izuku Sett. Sorry, I just don't like many people looking right at me. Artoria Saber. Sett, are you shy around us? Izuku Sett. I'm not shy. I just don't like people looking at me. Cool answer. That's your reason on why are you standing right behind Master? Izuku Sett. You know that I'm new in this place, so I followed her from behind. Mordred. So that's the real reason? Izuku Sett. Yeah, that's my real reason on why I was standing right behind her. Kidako. Sett, can you introduce yourself to every heroic spirits in here? Izuku Sett. If that's what you want, then I'll gladly do it. Izuku have stepped forward and looked around the cafeteria and noticed all the heroic spirits in front of him, while they are looking straight at him. Izuku Sett had noticed that there are so many female heroic servants than the male heroic servants in the cafeteria right now. Izuku Sett. Hello everyone, my name is I-. Izuku Sett got interrupted when he saw an incoming attack that makes everyone in there surprised, but some didn't, and he blocked the attack with only both of his arms crossed. The one who attacked Izuku Sett is none other than the King of Heroes himself. Gilgamesh and 2 golden portals are seen from behind him, then it prepared another swords. Gilgamesh, archer, was standing on the left side of the cafeteria and near the wall. Then he saw Kidako enter the cafeteria along with the 4 heroic spirits and Mash until he saw Izuku Sett behind Kidako. Kidako. What the hell are you doing? Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, archer, didn't look or even listen to Kidako's voice, but only focused his sight onto Izuku Sett, who managed to block the swords while protecting Kidako. Izuku Sett then looked straight at Gilgamesh, archer, in front of him. Gilgamesh, archer. Are you the one that is responsible for the shaking earlier? Izuku Sett. What if I am? What are you going to do about it? Gilgamesh, archer. You dare talk back to me, Mong Dash. Izuku Sett was ready to throw back the swords until an arrow was seen in front of them, and it hits the wall between the two. Both of them looked at where the arrow came from and they saw a female heroic spirit holding a bow in her hand. Hey, can both of you calm down for a bit? Izuku Sett. I'll calm myself down then. Izuku Sett listened to what the female hero said, but Gilgamesh, archer, on the other hand, became even more annoyed. Gilgamesh, archer. Stay out of this, you mongrel! Why didn't you let the kid introduce himself first before attacking? Gilgamesh Archer. You don't have any rights to say or question anything to me. 3 more golden portal appeared and the swords came out from it while being at her, which makes Izuku, Sett, angry. Izuku, Sett, is now gripping on the brass knuckles in both of his fists so tight that he activated his first move called Knuckle Down subconsciously. Izuku, Sett, don't you dare talk to a girl like that. Suddenly Izuku, Sett, tried to deliver a punch right onto Gilgamesh's Archer face until his right arm got stopped by a golden chain. Izuku, Sett, looked at where the golden chains came from and he saw a heroic spirit that used the golden chain on his right arm. Didn't Atlanta already told you to calm down, kid? Izuku, Sett. And what do you want me to do? Let him disrespect a girl like that. Like hell, I'll let him do that. What's your name, kid? Because you didn't introduce yourself earlier. Izuku, Sett. If you wanted to know the reason, then why don't you go ask him? Izuku, Sett, pointed his finger right at Gilgamesh Archer, who is standing in front of him. The heroic spirit looked on where Izuku's pointing at, then she realized the reason about it right after looking at Gilgamesh Archer. Right before Izuku attacked //. The 3 heroic servants behind Gidako was now surprised that Izuku, Sett, had managed to block the attack from the King of Heroes. Mordred, on the other hand, is still very confused about the question Gidako said earlier when they are still talking about the Noma that Izuku, Sett, just fought. Mordred then looked at Mash and decided to ask her a question about that fight from earlier. Mordred. Hey Mash, can I ask you about something? Mash. HM? What is it, Mordred? Mordred. What does Master mean by the same monster that came from the same portal earlier? Mash. Oh, it's about the incident that just happened to the summoning room, right? Mordred. Yeah, so can you tell me what happened in there earlier? Mash. I don't think you would believe me if I told you what really happened in there. Mordred. Just tell me what happened in there. Mash told Mordred on what happened in the summoning room and how they both saw Izuku, Sett, being thrown out from the same portal along with a monster. Mordred is speechless on what she just heard from Mash's story. Then suddenly they heard a shout and looked in front of them to see Izuku, Sett, is now preparing himself to fight Gilgamesh Archer. Mordred is about to interfere with them until she saw 2 heroic spirits standing up to stop both Izuku, Sett, and Gilgamesh Archer from fighting each other in the cafeteria. Mordred sighed in relief after seeing the 2 of them was stopped by 2 heroic spirits. Gidako walked towards the middle of Izuku, Sett, and Gilgamesh Archer, then begins to speak up. Gidako. Are you 2 done by now? Izuku, Sett. Gilgamesh Archer. Hey Gil and Kid, Master is asking you both a question. Both of them remained silent, while they still looking at each other until one of the heroic spirits on the cafeteria decides to break it up. Gilgamesh? Just tell us, are you the one who caused the shockwave earlier? Izuku, Sett. You're correct, I'm the one who caused the shockwave earlier. Then can you tell us the reason on why did you cause a shockwave, Kid? Izuku, Sett, looked around and saw a man with a red tight suit on his right shoulder and a white cape on his left shoulder. Izuku, Sett. Who are you, sir? Senji Saber. Did I forgot to introduce myself? Then my name is Senji Muramasa, a Saber class servant. Izuku, Sett, another Saber class? And the variant of Gilgamesh Archer, speak up next right after Senji introduce himself. Gilgamesh Caster. My name's Gilgamesh, Caster class servant and the king of Uraraka. Izuku, Sett. Wait, your name is similar to this piece of SHT? Izuku, Sett, pointed his right finger to Gilgamesh Archer, who is now pissed off because of Izuku, Sett, calling him a piece of SHT. Gilgamesh Archer. Hey! I have a name, and it's Gilgamesh. Remember that, you stupid mongrel. Izuku, Sett. Then what class are you? Gilgamesh Caster. He's an Archer class servant. Izuku, Sett, an Archer class? But how? Izuku, Sett, was speechless on what he just heard from Gilgamesh Caster, that his other self was an Archer class servant, but he's shooting swords as an arrow. Izuku, Sett, decided to speak up and ask the heroic spirits a question. Meanwhile, Gidako looked for a table to seat, leaving Izuku, Sett, with the heroic spirits. Izuku, Sett. If he's an Archer class, then why is he using the swords as an arrow? Mordred. Goldie here is not the only one heroic spirit who uses a sword even though he's an archer-class servant. Izuku Sett. Huh! There's another one who uses a sword as a weapon? Izuku Sett was now even more confused about it, and Ku, Lancer, have decided to speak up next. Ku, Lancer. Yeah, this saber of red is correct. In fact, he's busy cooking some food in the kitchen right now. Izuku Sett. Is he one of the chefs here? Artoria Saber. Yes, he's one of the chefs here in Chaldea. Izuku Sett looked behind Senji Saber and saw the same female heroic spirit with a bow on her hand that stopped both him and Gilgamesh, Archer, earlier. Mash and Mordred noticed that Izuku Sett was looking at the female heroic spirit who stopped him and Gilgamesh, Archer. Mash, why is Sett looking at Atlanta? Mordred. Hey Sett. Why are you looking at Atlanta? Izuku Sett. Huh! What are you talking about? Mash. Why are you looking at Atlanta? Izuku Sett. I just want to apologize for something. Ku, Lancer. What are you apologizing for? It's not even your fault. While the female heroic spirit saw that Izuku Sett was looking at her, and she didn't know the reason until Izuku walked towards her then talked to her. Izuku Sett. Hey, can I ask you some question? What is it? Izuku Sett. What's your name, miss? Atlanta Archer. My name is Atlanta, an archer-class servant and a member of Argonauts. What's your name? Izuku Sett. I'm Izuku Midoriya, but you can just call me Sett since that's my real name, but now I'm using it as my vigilante name. Atlanta Archer. Nice to meet you, Sett. Izuku Sett. It's nice to meet you as well, and I want to apologize for something. Atlanta Archer. If you're apologizing about the argument that you two did just now, then don't. Izuku Sett. Why is that? Atlanta Archer. Since you've already repaid it by showing me that you respect us women. Izuku Sett. It's true though, men need to respect the women. Atlanta Archer. But Sett, there are also some men who never respect the women, and you can't change their minds. Izuku Sett. Why do I have to if they all can't change it on their own? Atlanta Archer. Like I said, some men will never respect women, but I have some question about your name. Izuku Sett. Huh? What is it, Atlanta? Atlanta Archer. You said that your real name is Sett, right? Izuku Sett. Yes, my real name is Sett and my adoptive name is Izuku Midoriya. Atlanta Archer. Then why do you use it as your vigilante name? Izuku Sett. That I can't tell you yet. Izuku was hesitant to tell her the reason why he chose to use his real name as his vigilante name, but Atlanta realized that her question was personal to him, so she didn't ask him about it anymore. Atlanta Archer. You don't need to tell me about it since that question was very personal. Izuku Sett. Thank you. Atlanta Archer. Just tell me about the reason if you are comfortable enough to talk about it. Izuku Sett. Got it, Atlanta. Thank you, and I'm sorry once again. Izuku bowed down his head and he walked back to Mash and 4 heroic spirits, while Atlanta was still looking at Izuku Sett. Atlanta didn't notice that one of the heroic spirit came to her and asked her something. Hey, Atlanta. Who was that man you talked with just now? Atlanta Archer. His name is Sett. Why do you ask? Isn't he the one responsible for the shockwave earlier? Atlanta Archer. Yeah, you have guessed it right. He's the one responsible for the shockwave earlier. Why did he come to you then? Atlanta Archer. He want to apologize to me on behalf of the King of Heroes. I don't think that caster's variant will be apologizing to you. Atlanta Archer. That's why I told him that he doesn't need to, but he insists on apologizing to me. Maybe he did something wrong to you. Atlanta Archer. He didn't do anything wrong to me. It's just... Atlanta wants to continue in her words but stopped, which makes confused on her words. It's just what, Atlanta? Atlanta Archer. It's nothing. We both should go eat with the others now, or else our food will get cold. You still didn't answer my question, Atlanta. Atlanta Archer. Why is he silent when I asked him about his vigilante name? I'll know my answer once he's comfortable to talk with us. Chapter 3: The Boss vs. 2 Female Heroic Servants. Atlanta Archer. He didn't do anything wrong to me. It's just. Atlanta wants to continue in her words but stopped, which makes. Confused on her words. It's just what, Atlanta? Atlanta Archer. It's nothing. We both should go eat with the others now, or else our food will get cold. You still didn't answer my question, Atlanta. Atlanta Archer. Why is he silent when I asked him about his vigilante name? I'll know my answer once he's comfortable to talk with us. Both of them have arrived to the table of their comrades, and starts eating while enjoying the company with each other, but notice something different about Atlanta. Atlanta is now lost in her thoughts once again, not hearing any words from her fellow heroic servants until put his hand on Atlanta's left shoulder, and that makes her snap out of it. Atlanta? Are you okay? Atlanta Archer. Huh? I'm okay. I was just lost in thought, that's all. Lost in thought? Why were you lost in thought? Atlanta, you are thinking about that heroic spirit's apology earlier, did you? Atlanta Archer. Yeah. I was thinking about it now, and why he also apologized on behalf of the King of Heroes himself. Why would he apologize to you then on behalf of the King of Heroes? Atlanta Archer. That is what I have in mind right now. Can you tell us about it, Atlanta? Atlanta Archer. I still don't know the reason why, but I'll tell you all once he told me his reason. Atlanta and her companions started eating after they know that she will tell them why Sett was asking for an apology on behalf from the King of Heroes. Mash and Mordred sighs in relief knowing that everything was now under control and Sett have apologized to Atlanta, but their master Gadako is confused on why Sett is apologizing to Atlanta Archer on behalf of Gilgamesh Archer, knowing his arrogant personality. While Sett is walking back towards his table after he apologized to Atlanta, not knowing that there are two certain heroic servants have been watching him earlier from behind. Well, this heroic servant have some guts. I'll give him that. And he looks interesting too, don't you think? He's also the one that have made the shockwave from earlier. What should we do with him? Do you have something in mind? Smirks at her fellow heroic servant knowing that she did have something on her mind and decides to tell her later. Oh, I have a plan alright, but I will tell you later. With Sett and the others. Sett went to their table and takes a sit before eating his food while Gadako decide to ask him some question. Gadako. Sett, why did you apologize to her on behalf of the King of Heroes? Izuku. Sett. I don't know either. But my adoptive mother have always telling me to apologize if I gave some people any trouble or mistake. Mash. Wait, your adopted mother? So you don't know who's your real mother? Izuku. Sett. You're correct about that one. I don't know who is my real mother. Mordred. What will you do after eating? Izuku. Sett. Go to the training room and let out some steam. Gadako. Do you have any plan on how to look for your real mother, Sett? Izuku. Sett. If fate had give me a second chance, then I won't waste it and start searching for my real mother. Gadako, Mash and Mordred looked at each other before eating their food while Sett have finishes his own, then ready himself to get up from the table until two female voices are heard behind him. Hey, can we have a talk with you alone? Izuku. Sett. What do you want to talk about? Gadako, Mordred and Mash recognize the two female heroic servants in a single glance while Sett turns around to look at them. Maybe we should talk somewhere else privately if that's okay with you. Izuku. Sett. Sure thing. Sett looked at the three and gets up from the table before starting to follow the two female heroic servants from behind while they are going somewhere private. When they arrive at the private location, one of them decides to attack Sett from behind but managed to dodge her surprise attack before jumping back and making a distance, then looks straight at them. Izuku. Sett. Who are you two? And why did you attack me from behind? Jean, Avenger. We've also forgot to introduce ourselves. My name is Jean Dark, an Avenger class servant. Altria Alter. And I'm Altria Pendragon, an Alter class servant. It is pleasure to meet you, Sett. Izuku. Sett. Wait, the Avenger and an Alter class servants? Sett was surprised to see that the two female heroic servants who asked him belong to the two different class types. Izuku Sett. So back into my question, why did you attack me from behind all of a sudden? Altria Alter. Isn't it obvious? You said that you wanted to let out some steam. Jean Avenger. That's the reason why this Leoness have decided to attack you from behind. Izuku Sett. If you two want to spar with me, then you should have asked me earlier while we're still in the cafeteria. Jean Avenger. And where's the fun in that? Izuku Sett. But if that's what you two want. Sett takes on his battle stance while Jean, Avenger, and Altria, Alter, prepared their weapons to start their fight. Izuku Sett. Who am I to disregard a challenge coming from you both? Jean Avenger. Is that a yes? Izuku Sett. I'll accept the challenge, but I hope you have N-. Altria Alter. How about we make this fight a little bit more interesting? Izuku Sett. Like what? Sett is confused and wanted to know the reason why did they want to make their fight interesting until Jean, Avenger, speaks up by interrupting Altria, Alter. Jean Avenger. We will tell you after this fight. Izuku Sett. Well, this sparring is going to be interesting. Altria Alter. Are you ready? I don't want to waste all my precious time in a small talk now. Jean Avenger. You took the word out of my mouth, Leonis, but I'll have to agree with you there. Izuku Sett. So you both want me to prove my strength by fighting you two then? Jean Avenger. That's why we're in this room, to prove us your strength. Izuku Sett. Very well. Don't hold back on me during our fight here. Sett takes on his fighting stance while two female heroic servants did the same thing along with their signature weapon on hand. Only silence was heard inside the room until Jean, Avenger, makes her first move along with Altria, Alter, while Sett is still have his guard up. Meanwhile in the cafeteria, all heroic servants are very busy doing their own things, talking to each other and playing with other heroic servants until they felt that shake from earlier again. The first three heroic servants to move and looked for the source of shake are Mash, Mordred and Atlanta, while Gadako just followed the three heroic servants from behind to search for the source of it as well. When the four of them have arrived, they saw that Sett was having a sparring match sessions with Jean, Avenger, and Altria, Alter, without them holding back, but somehow he's able to keeping up with them easily. Jean, Avengers, attacks Sett with a magic and he keeps on absorbing the attack from her, while Altria, Alter, is fighting him in a close combat by using her own signature weapon, Excalibur Morgan. Atlanta, Mash, and Mordred were now surprised that Sett is capable of fighting two heroic servants even if they are not holding anything back in their fight, but the reason he's still keeping up with two heroic servants is because of his second ability, which absorb any attacks and make him deliver it back to them even more powerful. Atlanta Archer. No way. He can keep up with the two of them. Mash. Me and Senpai are also surprised to see it first. Atlanta Archer. Wait, how? How is he still capable of fighting those two female heroic servants with so many damages in his body? Gadako. You'll see about that, Atlanta. Atlanta Archer. What do you mean by that, Master? Atlanta Archer is confused on what Gadako said as she watched Sett keeping up with the heroic servants on his own before delivering a powerful haymaker that shook the entire Chaldea again, just like he did against the high-end Noma, while Altria, Alter, and Jean, Avenger, have received a lot of damages on their bodies from Sett's powerful haymaker. Atlanta Archer was shocked to see that Sett's body is emitting the glowing yellow light before he delivers a powerful haymaker right on Jean, Avenger, and Altria, Alter. Jean, Avenger. You really are strong. Izuku Sett. Who said I was weak? Jean, Avenger. This Leonis beside me said that you're weak. Jean, Avenger, is pointing her finger right at Altria, Alter, which makes her more irritated. Altria, Alter. What did you just said? Jean, Avenger. I said you're the one who calls him weak at first. Altria, Alter. No, I didn't. You're the one who started it, and besides, this is all your plan to begin with. Two heroic servants start arguing with each other while Sett is watching the two before looking back and saw four people who have been watching their sparring match from the distance. Izuku Sett. Gadako, how long have you four been standing there? Gadako. We all felt the shockwave on the cafeteria earlier, that's why we went here. Izuku said. My apologies then. I've absorbed too much magic attack into my body and release all that power towards them in a single strike. Mordred. The same powerful move you used to kill the High and Nomu? Izuku said. Yeah, that's the move I call Haymaker. Atlanta Archer. Haymaker? Is that your noble phantasm? Izuku said. Noble phantasm? What's that? Mash. Didn't I just explain it to you about that earlier? Sett remembers what noble phantasms are after being reminded by Mash that she told him about it before going to the cafeteria. Then Sett look over at Atlanta answering her question. Izuku said. Oh. Do you mean my ultimate move? No, it's not. Atlanta Archer. If it isn't, what's your noble phantasm? Izuku said. I want to demonstrate it to you, but I need someone more durable. Mordred. Wait, you need someone more durable? Why? Izuku said. Yeah, it's because the more durable my enemy, the more damage he will receive from impact. That's how my ultimate or noble phantasm works, if that is what you call it. Mash. Do we need to call Berserker here, senpai? Mash looked at Kadako's directions while Jean and Altria have stopped arguing with each other just to hear their master's answer. Kadako. We don't need to call Berserker for this one, Mash. Mash. Huh? But why is that, senpai? Kadako. 'Cause I think someone from the cafeteria is most likely going to challenge Sett on a duel. Mordred. Challenge Sett for a fight? Kadako. Yeah, and I already know who is that heroic servant gonna be. Altria Alter. Oh, you're talking about that golden blondie from earlier, master? Izuku said. Wait, that golden blondie? Who are you mentioning, Altria? Jean Avenger. Well, this Leonis was mentioning about the heroic servant you were arguing back in the cafeteria earlier. Izuku said. Gilgamesh? You mean that king of heroes? Altria Alter. Yeah, that is the golden blondie's real name. Izuku said. Why do you keep calling him Golden Blondie anyway? Altria Alter. What? Do you have any problem with me calling him that? Izuku said. No, I'm not Altria. I was only asking you a question though. Altria Alter. It's none of your business. Jean Avenger. No need to be so grumpy now, Leonis. Altria Alter. Shut it, witch. I don't need any words coming out from your mouth. Jean Avenger. What did you just call me? Altria Alter. I called you a witch. Jean Avenger. That's it. Jean Avenger summons her weapon and rushes towards Altria Alter, while she did the same thing as Jean before their own weapon met each other. Sett was surprised to see that Jalter and Salter are equal in terms of close combat while both of them are now clashing with each other. Sett was watching them fight, not interfering in it. Izuku said. Is this really normal for the two of them to fight all the time? Gadako. They sometimes fought each other due to misunderstanding, but they are powerful together. Izuku said. What are the class names of both Jean and Altria? Gadako. Jean, or should I say Jalter, is an Avenger class servant, while Altria is an Alter class servant. Izuku said. Wait, so Altria is an Alter class servant? Mash. Yeah, she is. Altria is the alter ego of Artoria from the Saber class servant. Mordred. Father have very strong attack power but low on defense against any of the magical attacks. Atlanta Archer. How are you capable of taking so many hits and attack them in a single move set? Izuku said. Atlanta, I have an ability called Haymaker. Atlanta Archer. Haymaker? What's that? Izuku said. Haymaker is my powerful attack move due to its passive that allows me to take their attacks and convert them into a grit that I can use to deliver back at my enemies. Mordred. So that's the reason why your entire body is glowing with a golden light like an aura. Izuku said. Yeah, I have absorbed all the attack from the High and Nomu and tried to convert it into a grit, while makes my Haymaker deadly if it was a full stock. Mash. Sett, what did you fought back at the summoning room? Izuku said. Are you talking about how was I able to withstand all the attacks of High and Nomu? Gadako. Yeah, what's with that High and Nomu? Izuku said. It was an experimented human that turned into a weapon of destruction for the villains in order to match me. Mordred. An experimented human? Izuku said. Yeah, all for one make deal with the thug before bringing him to the laboratory where Dr. Garaki was working in. They modified on his entire body to have more quirks and match my strength. Gadako and Mash. No way. Mash and Gadako are shocked after they heard that very simple explanation of a high-end Noma from Sett who fought it back in the summoning room while he protected Mash from its attack. Atlanta and Mordred were surprised to know that the thug have accepted the deal and he was turned into a bioweapon of destruction for the villains. Chapter 4. Mash and Gadako are shocked after they hear that very simple explanation of a high-end Noma from Sett who fought it back in the summoning room while he protected Mash from its attack. Atlanta and Mordred were surprised to know that the thug had accepted the deal and he was turned into a bioweapon of destruction for the villains only to take down Sett. Atlanta Archer. Why would he accept that kind of deal? Izuku Sett. Because he wants to take me down to take back his crown in the underground fighting pit as the boss. Answered Atlanta's question, making them look at Izuku Sett, who is now standing behind Atlanta. Mash, Mordred, Atlanta and Gadako were surprised by Sett's answer on Atlanta's question, which makes Mordred wanting to know about the start of the experiment turning a human into a bioweapon called Noma. Sett sighs right before going to stop the argument between the two female heroic servants Altria, Alter, and Jean, Avenger, who were just listening to Sett while they are both arguing with each other. Altria, Alter. Taking back his crown as the underground fighting pit boss? Got confused on the decision that a human would do. Jean, Avenger. That kind of reason is bullshit. Why sacrifice his humanity just to take you down and to take back the crown as the underground fighting pit boss? Izuku Sett. Well, that's just how human greed does if the human were blinded by something. If they were offered a power by someone, then they will blindly accept it immediately without thinking about the consequences of accepting the deal with their own actions. Atlanta Archer. So how about this underground fighting pit? What is the purpose of it to you? Asked Sett about the fighting pit after hearing it for a third time from Altria, Alter, Jean, Avenger, and Sett himself. Izuku Sett looked at Atlanta Archer before answering her question by saying, I was just only using the underground fighting pit as a way to get information on the whereabouts of my real mother. Gadako. Sett, can you tell us what this underground fighting pit is exactly? Izuku Sett. Do you want to know about it, Gadako? Then asked Gadako a question first right before answering her own. Gadako. If that's okay with you, even though we've only just met today, Sett. Sett begins to tell Gadako and her heroic servants about the underground fighting pit, then explains how he becomes the boss and how he also uses the underground fighting pit to gather some information. Jean, Avenger, and Altria, Alter, were silent right after hearing the real reason from Sett, while Gadako, Mash, Atlanta, Archer, and Mordred, Saber, were more surprised about it. Atlanta Archer. So you still think that your real mother is alive then? Izuku Sett. Yeah. That's why I won't stop searching for her while gathering more info about her whereabouts. Gadako. I see. We can help you with that, B-dash. Before she could say anything, she gets interrupted by Sett. Izuku Sett. Wait, you all want to help me even though I am a stranger? Gadako. Yeah, but the only problem is... Got interrupted once again by someone who entered the room, and it was Da Vinci. Da Vinci. Hey Fujimaru, can you come with me and also bring them as well as Sett? Gadako. Huh? Why Da Vinci? Surprised at what she heard from Da Vinci and saw her entering the room. Sett was more surprised to see the famous artwork of Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa that is considered as an archetypal masterpiece of the Italian Renaissance. It has been described as the best known, the most visited, the most written about, the most sung about, and the most parodied work of art in the world. Izuku Sett. Are you Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa? Asked Da Vinci a question. Da Vinci. HM? How did you know me? I haven't even introduced myself to you yet. Surprised to hear that Sett already knows her without her introduction. Izuku Sett. Well, your artwork is so amazing and beautiful that it became very famous in my world. Explains the reason why he already knows her without her introduction. Da Vinci. I didn't know that my artwork would become more famous. And by the way, my real name is Leonardo da Vinci. Puts her hand forward to Sett, which he gladly shakes her hand in return. Izuku: Sett. I'm Sett, the underground fighting pit boss. Pleasure to meet you as well, Miss Da Vinci. Da Vinci shakes her head. No need for the miss, just calling me Da Vinci is fine. Mordred. Hey Da Vinci, can you tell us about what you want to say? Makes Da Vinci realize what's her reason I'm calling Fujimaru. Da Vinci. Oh yeah, we have also found the Holy Grail, Fujimaru. Kidako and the heroic servants were surprised to hear it from Da Vinci, while Sett was confused about the Holy Grail. Izuku: Sett. Holy Grail? What's that? Got interested in knowing the Holy Grail after hearing it from Da Vinci's mouth. Da Vinci. It's a golden cup that can grant you any wishes you wanted, but there are also consequences when you use it very differently. Izuku: Sett. So there are consequences if I use the Holy Grail in a bad way. What will happen? Mash. You can take the Fubuki timeline as an example. Explained everything to Sett about the consequences that the Holy Grail did on the Fubuki city, including the death of director Olga Marie. Kidako also explains everything on why they both traveled different eras to take the Holy Grail in order for them to not suffer the same fate, just like in Fubuki timeline, but some still suffer, like the Babylonian and the Camelot. Mash told Sett that their journey isn't easy, as they've faced many challenges and new foes while meeting with new allies in order to make both their missions successful. Kidako looks at Da Vinci after telling everything about the Holy Grail to Sett, and wants to know where Da Vinci has found the Holy Grail. Kidako. What timeline did you find it, Da Vinci? Looked at Da Vinci. Da Vinci. The Holy Grail was found in his timeline, to be exact. Pointing at Sett, who is now surprised by what she just said. Izuku: Sett. Wait, no way. You've found the Holy Grail in my timeline? But how did it manage to get into my timeline? Surprised to hear that the golden cup was found in his timeline. Da Vinci. I think that someone in your timeline has the possession of Holy Grail. Izuku: Sett. But all the heroes in my timeline aren't that famous, like Artoria's legend or that Golden Idiot's legend, so how did they? Unless. Suddenly realized something that struck on his mind. Mash and Kidako. Unless what, Sett? Both of them looked over at Sett, waiting for his word. Izuku: Sett. Unless the heroes keep it in the museum as an artifact without knowing it was a Holy Grail. Jean Avenger. Why the hell would they keep the Holy Grail in the museum as an artifact? Crossed her arms under her chest while looking at Sett and waits for his answer. Izuku: Sett. I don't know either. 'Cause I just saw it for the first time when me and my classmates went to the museum during our last field trip back in my middle school day. Answered Jalter's question. Kidako. Huh. I didn't even think your heroes would do something like that and display it in the museum as an artifact. Alter. Why would your heroes do something so stupid like that? Izuku: Sett. The heroes in my world are greedy ones. They only care about their fame and money. Answered Altria's question while looking at her. Jean Avenger. Well, I don't think you should still call them heroes anymore if that's what they only think about. They are all fakes, just like what that golden idiot would say if he hears about it from you. Atlanta Archer. When did it all start, Sett? Izuku: Sett. It all started because of the quirk that first appeared out of nowhere from the baby back in Xinjiang, China. Mordred. Quirk? Can you tell us about it? Interested to know about the power that his world possessed. Sett begins to explain everything from where the quirk has started to appear in a newborn baby in China, and also explains the sudden rise of quirks until the 80% population of his world had powers and the 20% are powerless. Atlanta Archer. So the quirk in your world just appears out of nowhere? Izuku: Sett. Yeah, all of the scientists across the globe from my world wanted to know where it really came from, but... Mash. But what, Sett? Did they find the result on where the quirk came from? Izuku: Sett. They can't find the answer to its sudden appearance. Shakes his head after answering. Kidako. So the reason behind why the heroes only cares about their fame and money is? Izuku: Sett. Being a pro hero becomes an everyday job in my world that every person wants to become just like them. Mash. How about the doctors, nurses, and police? Izuku: Sett. The cops are now useless in my world since the pro heroes are taking most of their job on securing the country, but the doctors and nurses can still help since they also have gained quirks. Da Vinci. The quirk really did change everything in your world, huh? Izuku said. Yeah, and because of that, the 20% of the population in my world are discriminated for being powerless to the society. Gene Avenger. And this all for one guy. Who is he exactly? Izuku said. He's the arch nemesis of Almight and leader that works behind the League of Villains action. MASH. The League of Villain? What's that group? Izuku said. It's a group of people that have quirks and seek destruction of the hero society due to its discrimination, but they all have their own agenda or reasons to band together. Alter. Let me get this right. This power called Quirk in your world caused a lot of changes and created two forces? Izuku said. Yeah, those two forces that are created were heroes and villains. Mordred. Then what's your occupation? Are you a hero or a villain? Izuku said. Oh, me? Pointing at myself before answering on Mordred's question. Well, I'm more of an anti-hero than a hero or villain. MASH. An anti-hero? What's that? Asked Sett about him being an anti-hero of his world. Izuku said. The anti-heroes are people with a history of bad decisions and a questionable moral code. They may have dark sides, hidden secrets, or a flawed moral code. Gadako. Anti-heroes are the vigilantes in your world then, am I right? Izuku said. Yes, in my world they don't use the word anti-heroes, so they change its name and just call them vigilantes. Atlanta Archer. Is your power related to this quirk thing? Izuku said. My power? It isn't actually related to a quirk, but rather, it was more of a DNA that I've inherited from my mother. Da Vinci. Let me guess, the power that you've possessed now came from your bloodline, am I right? Izuku said. Yes, my power came from my mother's DNA since she's a half-Ionian and Vastayan herself. Gene Avenger. Well, what about your father? Do you know him? Izuku said. My father? I don't know about my father since my adopted mother has found me in the alleyway since my real mother left me there for my safety. Atlanta Archer. What is your power anyway, Sett? Izuku said. From what I know about myself, I have a Vastayan physiology, kinetic absorption that can absorb any magical attacks like Jalter did earlier to strengthen me, and magical pulling. Mordred. A Vastayan physiology? What's that, Sett? Got interested after hearing Sett's power comes from his Vastayan physiology. Gadako. Well, I think that's a new race of half-animals and half-humans? Gene Avenger sighs before answering. There are no such things as half-animals and half-humans, Master. Alter. Instead of calling them by that, we call them demi-humans, Master. Gadako. Oh yeah. The demi-humans are species with mixed traits of different beings. Realize her mistake just now. Mordred. If your mother is a Vastayan and half-Ionian, then what's your father's race if you want to take a guess? Decided to ask Sett a question. Izuku said. Well, if I have to guess it. Mumble quietly before answering. He's probably a Noxian human. Gadako. A Noxian human? Surprised to hear that there are also different species of the human race. Izuku, Sett, noticed Gadako's reaction after guessing his father's race. Do you know them, Gadako? Looked at Gadako. Gadako shakes off her head right before answering Sett's question. No, this is my first time hearing it from you. The heroic servants were also surprised to hear and know that there are different types of humans that they all didn't even know exist. This makes Da Vinci, Gene, Avenger, and Alter even more interested in Sett's biology because of his half-Noxian, half-Ionian, and Vastayan blood. Gene Avenger. Interesting. In that case, mumbles quietly before walking towards Sett. Izuku said, Looked over at Gene Avenger, who is walking towards him. Alter. You stupid witch. Just realized what Gene plans to do and start walking towards Sett as well. Izuku said, Jalter? How did you know all for one? Suddenly realized that Gene Avenger already knows the name of the leader of LOV. Gene Avenger. I just asked that knight over there. pointing at Mordred. Sett looked over at Mordred and suddenly realized that she was also in the scene when he is battling the High Nomu, while the wall of the training room got destroyed as he punched the Nomu's body with a low-powered haymaker. Izuku Sett sighs. I should have been careful on using my ability while staying here. Mordred. Don't worry about it, I think Master can handle it. Looked at her master who was talking with Da Vinci. Gadako. Da Vinci, I think we should take the sample of the Nomu that Sett killed. Da Vinci. Huh? Why do you want to take sample of it, Fujimaru? Asked Gadako, wanting to know why she came up with that idea. Gadako. I don't know why, but I think it will definitely help us discover more about the quirk in Sett's world. Izuku Sett heard Gadako's idea, then speaks up. I can help you by taking some sample of the High Nomu that I've killed earlier and give it to you, Da Vinci. Atlanta Archer. Why would you do that? Asking Sett why he agreed with her master's idea. Izuku Sett. I want to know the truth on where the quirk really came from and why it appeared out of nowhere. Da Vinci. I see. In that case, just bring the sample in my lab, Sett, and I'll handle the rest. Izuku Sett. Got it, Da Vinci. Da Vinci looked at Gadako. Get ready as well, Fujimaru. You're going to take the Holy Grail from Sett's world. Gadako. Yeah, I will, Da Vinci. Da Vinci and Sett left the training room in order to take the sample of the High Nomu while leaving Gadako behind with the 5 heroic spirits. Gadako. Mash, Mordred, Atlanta, Jean and Altria. Called out the 5 heroic servants' name. All 4 of them looked at Gadako after hearing their names being called and wait for her command. Gadako. Get ready, we're going to Sett's world to take the Holy Grail from their museum. Mash. Got it, Senpai. Jean, Avenger. Guess I'm going to team up with the Leonis again for the mission. Looked over at Altria Alter. Altria Alter. Well, Master did mention the 2 of us. So don't complain about it, which. Looked back at Jean, Avenger. Mordred. This mission is going to be fun. Smirks. Atlanta Archer. Shouldn't we bring Sett with us, Master? It is his world after all. Gadako. Huh? Bring Sett with us in our mission? Jean, Avenger. Yeah, Atlanta is right, Master. We should bring Sett with us on this mission. Gadako. I guess I can ask him if he can tag along with us in this mission.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.